Good morning, world. Today we're taking a few minutes to answer a few questions about antidepressants. Antidepressants, as you may already know, are medications that a doctor, usually you're a general practitioner or a psychiatrist, may be able to prescribe to someone who's experiencing symptoms of depression. But of course, the question is, who should get them? Well, generally, a person who is prescribed antidepressants would be someone who's experiencing a higher grade of depressive symptoms, not just your everyday low symptom, but higher grade symptoms that are impacting your ability to do your everyday life functions, your everyday activities of daily living, getting up, getting dressed, go to work and have a life after work. Your depressive symptoms impact your ability to do that. And of course, longer term depressive symptoms, not just today or tomorrow, but a few days, several days, a couple of weeks. And it's not a person who's experiencing a symptom, but someone who is experiencing several symptoms to the point where if they went to a clinician, they would actually be diagnosed with some form of depression. Which brings me to the next one. Should you do antidepressants without going to therapy? Many people do it. A lot of times people go to their primary physician and they get a prescription for antidepressants, and that works. There are people whose depressive symptoms are caused by a medication that they are taking. It happened to me, wasn't fun at all. Or there are people who have a medical condition that can cause the depressive symptoms. And for those people, a lot of times, yeah, they can take this medication because there's not another trigger outside of the medical situation that is causing the depressive symptoms. So they can take an antidepressant to help them fight that issue. But for the rest of the population whose depression is not medically triggered, the ideal situation would be to combine antidepressant with therapy, because the antidepressants deal with the symptoms, not the actual issue, and the therapy would deal with the actual issue, figuring out what is the cause of the depressive symptoms and dealing with that cause so that the symptoms would go away, which the medication itself does not do. A good example I use is trying to treat a broken leg with painkillers. As long as the leg is broken, you're always going to feel the pain. And that's kind of how it is with the antidepressants. As long as the cause of the depression is there, you're always going to be experiencing the symptoms. How do you decide which one is right for you? Well, the right combination and the right dosage of antidepressants is what is going to be needed in order to help you with those symptoms. And the best way to find that would be going into a consultation with your prescribing physician, whether it's your psychiatrist or your general practitioner, to discuss the things that are going on with you, medications you're on, medical conditions that you may have, other situations in your life, because sometimes medications don't play well with each other. So depending on what else is going on in your life, that may cause you to be only able to take certain medications or not be able to take these medications. So having that consultation with your prescribing physician, and of course being honest, 100% honest with them, help you make the right decision on the right combination of medication for you. How long should you be on antidepressants? Again, that varies by person, because if your depressive symptoms are medically triggered, your need to be on antidepressants may be a long-term situation where, as long as you're on those medications, the symptoms are probably going to be there, or as long as you're dealing with this particular medical condition, your symptoms are going to be there, and of course you would need to continue taking the antidepressants. But for a person whose depressive symptoms are not medically triggered, their ability or what they are doing to deal with the cause of their depressions is what is going to determine how long that they are on the medication. Yes, people have been on antidepressants for several years. Some people take it as, everyday thing. I take my blood pressure medication, I take my antidepressants. For some people, that's the way it is. But if your goal is to not be on antidepressants for a long term, you would need to take time to address the cause of the depression, to address the reason you're experiencing the symptoms, in order for the symptoms to go away. Once you deal with the cause, then the symptoms will also, go away. Are there reasons for pause? Yes. It's medication. You should always, anytime you're going to take medication, you should always take that step back and do an assessment. Is this something that's needed? Is this something that you really want to do? Are there other alternatives? Are there other options? How would this impact you? All these things. Many people, I've actually had clients tell me they don't want to deal with taking antidepressants because, you know, it's antidepressants. They don't know what people will think. They don't know how people will feel. That's usually not the best reason not to take the medication. If you need it, you should not take it because of stigma, because of what other people will think. But because it is medication, it has side effects like every other medication that you could be taking. So yeah, you should definitely take some time and think about it and figure out if there are other alternatives, or if this is something that really would work for you, if this is the route that you want to go. Okay, quick recap. 1. Who should be on antidepressants? Well, generally people who have had longer term depressive symptoms, and of course higher grade symptoms that are impacting your everyday life activities. 2. Should you do antidepressants without going to therapy? It depends on your case. If your depressive symptoms are medically triggered, yes, that might work. But if your depressive symptoms are caused by something else going on in your life, it would serve you best to take time to also go and figure out what the cause of your depressive symptoms are so that you can fix them, so that you no longer have to deal with the depressive symptoms. How do you decide which one is best for you? It all depends. You need to work that out with your physician, discuss issues that are going on with you, other things that you're experiencing, other medications that you are on, so that you can figure out the best combination of medication and dosage that will work for you. How long should you be on antidepressants? It depends. What are you doing about your symptoms? If your symptoms are medically triggered, yes, you're likely to continue to have them as long as the medical condition or the medication is still present. But if they are not medically triggered, you may be able to simply take the time and deal with the cause of the depression and no longer have to deal with them. And finally, are there reasons for pause? It is medication. It has side effects like any other medication. And of course, there are a lot of other reasons that you may want to take the time, step back, because yes, it is medication. It is chemical, and it's up to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it after this very, very long video. Good morning, world. Have a great day.